Right, so today we have Drew Kelly in nomination in the Best Documentary Film of the Year for the documentary Hunting Secrets of the Tropical Whale. Congratulations, Drew.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
So can you tell us a bit what made you go into films?
I don't think I ever made a conscious decision to go into films. I've always been a photographer. I graduated from art school as a photographer, and I did film there. But it's more like it's been an evolution, and a lot of people say that, but it really has been. Um, and naturally, when drones came along, a photographer like me goes, well, if I could put a camera anywhere I wanted to in the air, and get that shot, I thought that's it. That's not a bad idea. And so I started using drones at the beginning of COVID, and it sort of evolved from there. And then there was one particular moment in my past, and I remember it very clearly, where I saw a mother protecting a mother whale, I should say, because that's mostly what I film, um, protecting her calf from some very ambitious males
Okay.
and very pushy. And I'm watching this, unfold, this story unfold in front of me, and my mouth is just getting wider and wider and wider while I watch. And when I'd finished watching it, I was literally shaking, and because it was such a drama, it wasn't just taking video of nature. It was a real story, And and then I realized this is what I want to do. I want to tell these stories. I want to capture this type of vision. So that's sort of when, I evolved into, trying to capture those things. And then I've been very lucky. Well, I've applied a lot of time sitting on cliffs and following migrations, etc. But I've been very fortunate to experience a lot of amazing events and be able to record those. And it became an obligation then to do something with that. So I ambitiously set off to make film and make a film about the last season, and I worked very hard, very hard
Mhm.
over a short period of time to piece it together, and I came up with Hunting Secrets of the Tropical Whale, which is, I'm very grateful that it's been recognised and the story's been recognised by the general public and globally actually. So it's been more successful than I had imagined. I mean, I put a lot into it. I thought it was a good story, but you never know until you take
Mhm.
it out there and you actually share it with audiences and judges and so on. So that's sort of the path. Art school, photography, always, always interested in imagery and nature, and then evolving and moving more towards these dramatic stories that nature can tell. And with the advent of new technology, being able to put a camera anywhere, micro sort of technology like I'm wearing here, you start to have more access. You start to become a witness to greater things. And I've filmed stuff that's never been filmed before. Yeah, I could tell endless stories about some of that. So now it's become an obligation to share that and share those stories. So I'm very keen about the next one that I'm building now, which I've been spending a lot of time over summer developing the treatments for, etc. So
So is it the first film that you made with your drones, or it's maybe the
I've been making films, sort of mini films, for my YouTube following for the last 5 years or so. So and I was really working hard, and I used to do a film a day, and not just like one of my friends said, "Oh, you don't just capture wildlife, you sort of tell a story." And I went, yeah, you're sort of right. I'm always trying to tell a story.
Mhm.
And I think it's some of that early influence of seeing the story and feeling the obligation to do that. Um, but so I've always been making these little mini stories. Some of them are spectacular in themselves as little cameo stories. And this new film will piece together a lot of those cameo um, pieces with a backdrop of the people that are observing nature and trying to make, again, because again, even in my first film, it's about connecting people in the present and in nature. And that's what the continuing theme. I mean, a lot of films sort of are there for people to escape. My intention is more to connect people, connect people to reality and nature. And so that's sort of the continuous for me, and it's laid out a very clear path, and here I am.
You mean that the purpose of your art is to connect us to nature? That's what
Yeah,
you just
yeah.
explained by.
Yes, I've probably touched on that already. I think if I was to sum it up into one word, simply it would be interconnection. And I don't mean, yeah, yeah, it's not in a light way, not in a loud way either. It's not about shocking or thrilling people to me. It's about giving them a space, and sometimes a very quiet space, to contemplate what they're seeing and embrace um, the natural world. I mean, we're now living in a world where it's uncertain what's real. You
Mm,
know, we're living in this world where now we're starting to question what we see on screens. Is that real? And my films, and it starts off with a very big disclaimer about AI. And I've got nothing against that, but I think there's a real appetite for things that are real, and there's a real appetite for contemplative cinema as well. And that's probably why the film's been so successful, because there are those quiet moments where you just roll through and you start. Hopefully, people are, you know, starting to connect and feel a harmony with what they're watching, and realize that even being an observer is an act of caring in these ways. So that's the intention of what I'm doing, is that to interconnect people with nature, because not to go on about it too much, but we are living in a constantly evolving, more disconnected world,
mhm.
and I think it's not a mission or anything like that. It's just sort of feels good to me. It feels right. It feels like a good message. And there's clearly an appetite for reconnecting with nature. You can't always, not everybody is lucky enough to be out there hearing and smelling and almost tasting wildlife. But if I can do something to help them to reconnect and to realize, oh, maybe I should go out and walk along the coastline and breathe salty air and so on,
Mm.
and see penguins or see sea life and seals and whatever, and just do that. And a lot of my films are very much marine oriented, but I do have some projects coming up that are more inland, if you like.
Okay.
And really, the the content can be anywhere. It's really about that message about reconnecting people with with nature. Hopefully, this is not passive, but people are taking a breath, sitting back, quietly absorbing something that I think is beautiful, but it's also quite impactful in terms of, um, I guess, the watching the action and connecting with what are amazing scenes, and the realization that nature is, it's there, it's a constant story, it's there. We just have to put ourselves in it. And that's sort of some of the messaging that I try to bring through the film. It's not just about a rare whale, which is spectacular in itself. It's about that putting yourself in a moment, or putting yourself in space where you're able to absorb that connection with nature. And it's really an advert for that.
That's such a beautiful idea. Thank you for doing that for us. We need to see more of that.
Absolutely, my pleasure. People say to me on a daily basis when they see me traveling up and down the coast, and they find out what I'm doing, they go, "Oh, I wish I had your job." And I go, I must be doing something right here.
Yes, I really think so too. So you have a YouTube channel, right? So
I
yeah,
do.
can you tell us
Wildlife.
a
Yeah,
yeah,
it's wildlife with a V,
okay.
dot media, wildlife media. And that's across my YouTube channel and website, etc. But clearly, my professional link is through IMDb. So that the hunting secrets of the tropical whale is listed up there now, and because it's been an accredited film and it's been successful in a number of festivals already. So I'm just hoping I get into my own hometown festival so I can take all my friends.
Yes, thank you so much for the interview today, and I'll send you the link very soon.
No problem. Nice
So
to
have
talk
a
to you,
nice rest of
Louise,
the day.
and good luck with the festival.
Thank you very much.